Hey guys, it's J-Man Powerhouse,
Hey guys, it's Coffee here.
Steven Jackson.
and today we go over episode 2 of Before the Storm, entitled Brave New World. And as ironic as this is, while we do that and before we do that, we're going to talk about our Brave New World, how it's changing, and how our worlds, well, are pretty much just going to be made over this next week. We'll get into that, and we'll get into much more on episode 9 of the Life is Fields podcast. How's everybody doing?
I'm great.
Doing fantastic.
Doing fantastic. So I want to talk about a couple things before we hop on the train of other discussions. What a wild. I mean, I guess I could say, has it been what, 8 weeks? It's been 8 episodes, so we'll just go with that. What a wild 8 episodes we've had. Um, Man, this starting out as and we're gonna explain why we're really in depth and we're really talking about this now. But if you would have told me 3 months ago that what is about to happen to us was going to happen, I would have slapped you in the face because I would have been like, "Don't tease me like that." Um, so unless you've been living under a rock or don't have Twitter, um, this coming week, and we have gotten permission from both to announce this, so we will be announcing this. This coming week, we have 2 interviews, and they're both real somehow. Um, Tuesday, we have an interview with Tony where we ask him if he's the real Mr. Jefferson because Coffee just really wants the answer.
It
Right,
needs to be the
Coffee?
truth.
It needs to be. And then Friday, we have somehow squeezed our way. That probably sounds like the wrong wording. We've squeezed our way into an interview with Haley. And we want to say it is not going to be Life is Strange related. We are going to talk not mainly, we're going to talk, oh, Jesus, great audio. We're going to talk basically about her podcast and a couple other things. We have some questions queued up. If you guys have any questions, you can email us, lifeisfieldspodcast@gmail.com. But this week is going to be amazing for us, and I tweeted it out earlier that it's uh it's really do or die at this point. Like we have talked about how this is the moment. Like it's kind of like when I was 12 and I got invited to, what was I invited to? I was invited to, in my high school, I was in the play Aladdin in middle school, and what it was basically I was a narrator, and ever since then, first of all, I just don't shut up. So this is amazing. But I wouldn't be here. I have to thank everybody, uh, even the people who haven't been on this podcast since episode 2. I'd like to thank Kayla. I'd like to thank Zeitgeist, who I know somewhere in the world is listening. Uh, Charlotte. I hate to do this, but I have to thank Coffee. Um, and I have to thank Steven because really for us, this is. I don't know about these two. These two are going to get into how much these 2 interviews mean for them in a second. But for me, this week is life changing. Coffee, coffee.
I'm emotionless.
Well, for me,
We know.
I found these two to be very credible. I've been watching these guys for at least 6, 7 months now, and I think what they do is fantastic to put themselves out there and to entertain their fans and doing the streaming that they do. I think they're wonderful people, and I look forward to spending these two interviews with them.
Coffee. We know you're not emotionless. We know this is. We know when we talked about, me and Coffee had that episode where we talked about who we wanted to interview, and I'm pretty sure the first person he named was Haley. So I'm pretty sure this is bigger to you than you realize or than you're willing to admit. But I know that I think I speak for all three of us when, if you would have told us, I'd say even 2 episodes ago, right? I would have said last episode, if you would have told us this was possible, we would have said you're absolutely crazy. It's gotten more possible recently because of things that have happened, communications we have had. But for us, I just can't express enough how much this all means to us, and hopefully we don't fuck it up. That's what we're mainly concerned about. I'm mainly concerned about Coffee messing this whole thing up. No, I'm mainly concerned about us messing this up, and I really hope we don't. But I think we'll be fine. I do want to say, somehow a Discord has randomly glowed, like, ridiculously. So thank you for that. Thank you for everyone who voted to keep our name, Life is Feels. We talked about this. We talked about this a lot, about how we're gonna go into more stuff, and again, we're not gonna stray away from Life is Strange, but we have things we need to do. So on that note, me and Steven and Coffee have been talking, and we can officially announce, I know we talked about last in the big announcement that we were thinking about doing Until Dawn. I think at this point we can officially announce we're going to do Until Dawn. Right?
Yay!
Woohoo!
Yeah, I didn't tell them I was gonna officially announce that we were, but we kinda hinted at it. In the big announcement we said we might do Until Dawn. But we'll see what else we have. So yeah, I'd like to say thank you for everyone who has helped us along the way. We cannot wait for these 2 interviews, because, for us it really is important. So we hope that we don't mess it up. And for anyone who voted for me as a nerd on Twitter, fuck you. That's just messed up. And Coffee thinks it's hilarious.
It is kind of funny.
It's hilarious. But
Especially because
the people you should be telling off are the people who voted undeserving of love.
Yes. I'm not gonna say fuck you, because actually one of the person who voted for me as a nerd is the person we're interviewing on Friday. So I take that back.
Don't be rude to her.
Steven, did you get my message?
Under Twitter?
No, on here, on Discord. Don't read it out loud. Did you get it? This is classic podcasting. Okay,
Yeah, I'm good.
Can you do that for You can do that for like 2 minutes?
Sure.
Alright, no dead air.
Okay.
Alright,
So I
I'll be
know
right
we're
back.
excited for the interviews. I hope everyone else is excited as we are. But getting back to episode 2 of Before the Storm, we have it starting out with Chloe and Rachel are in the Blackwell Academy principal's office for ditching school, and they are discussing punishments. Coffee, do you have any feelings about how this should go down or why they're in the principal's office?
Well, they ditched school, and I mean, depending on what your actions were in the first episode, you you told Victoria that you told her some fake answers to her chemistry homework. Yeah, I English very good. And also you jumped onto the stage and got caught by Principal Wells. So I lost where I was going with this, but yeah,
Well, so it was Rachel's first offense, and she gets taken out of this play, The Tempest, that she's been auditioning for, and she's got the lead role, and they're talking about taking it away from her as her first infraction, and they're discussing Chloe, who's had multiple disciplinary actions against her, and she has the choice of getting suspended or sticking up with her friend. Now, what, just out of sheer curiosity, what did you choose and why?
unfortunately my choice was to just let her do it because I'm like I don't know I don't know why, but my thinking was that it'd be a little bit rude to see her trying to make a sacrifice for you, and then like no, just no. But yeah, I I did that.
Now, see, I did the opposite. I was thinking that if I was completely reckless and took the complete blunt, that she wouldn't like me as much. So I actually made it look like she was the student by saying, okay, it's my fault, and what she said is true. I'm not going to make her look like a liar. And well, she still ended up getting suspended. So I'm guessing then, Coffee, you got her expelled.
No, I just let her take the blame for it.
Well, I have seen people get her expelled, but that's neither here nor there.
I got her expelled.
So what do you think of Rachel's district attorney father?
Alright, so let me say what I did first, and then we'll get into that. Again, I think I've said this before. I usually don't eat on while we're recording, but we decided to record later than we usually record tonight. So I'm eating dinner. So if there's a lot of crunching, please don't tune out. I got her expelled because I took all the blame. And then when it said, "Are you sure?" I said yes. Because the Tempest looked legit, bro. And I didn't want to mess that up.
So how was your feelings towards finding out that Rachel Amber's father was the district attorney?
Coffee, were you talking about me or are you talking about you?
Talking about you because you're saying you're eating.
No, that's not gonna matter, dude. I'm still gonna be chewing. And then it's like hard for me to push the button to speak anyway. So if you guys really tune out, I mean, you guys watch Day stream while she eats all the time. So I think you guys will be okay. What did I think of the father? Boy, uh, robotic, I guess. is what I could say. Do you mean like as a person?
Yes, his personality,
Or
what his persona is, how he carries himself.
Ask Coffee.
All right, I guess I'll have to go with my 2 sentences. Um, yeah, no, he seemed pretty fake because you could see he didn't like any of it at all, but he was trying to be diplomatic because he's what is he, a politician? Yeah, that's the word. And so he has to keep up uh his image, his public image. Trying to be like, oh, it's fine and everything. But I'm pretty sure he was pretty angry.
Now, see,
So
that's interesting because I saw it as he's using his position of power to intimidate, influence others. Because when he's talking to Wells, he tells him, and I quote, "Since this is her first infraction, couldn't we just?" And Principal Wells had to tell him, "I don't tell you how to run the district attorney's office. Don't tell me how to run my school." So I don't know if that means he's intimidated and threw money at situations before, but I think he does, let his position go to his head.
yeah, I think he lets it go to his head too. Um, I think anyone in that position would though. So I I see. I'm gonna get more in depth to it. Is it episode 2 where he tells the story about Sarah, or is it episode 3? Episode
That's
3,
episode
right?
3.
That's the beginning of
Okay.
episode 3.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get to that. And when he explains like why he did what he did, and we get more into the character, and you understand it a little more, then it's a little different. But until we get to that, right now we're just gonna. So, what was the next scene?
Well, I mean, also too, you can't exactly blame him. Yeah, he threw his position of power in there, but as a father, I can understand, wanting to do everything to protect your child. So after that, there's a situation in the parking lot where you find David, which is, her mom's current boyfriend, and Chloe does not like him at all. He has his doubts against her. He's suspicious against her. He's got this whole military, take charge attitude about him. And he tells Chloe that he's going to move in, and Chloe's 100% against it. He says she tells her mom that there is no home as long as he's there, and she takes everything out of her pocket, and are you happy, and whatnot, and she just wants nothing to do with him, honestly. Coffee,
Um,
anything you'd like to add?
I don't trust him at all. I mean, he does redeem himself later on, but he hasn't done anything at that point, and I don't know. It just makes me so angry that he's just so authoritative. Like he knows she doesn't respond well, and then he doesn't even trust her. So that's just him being really really cool to her.
trust is. We talked. I think I talked about it with Charlotte last week. Yeah, was it? It was 7, right? Oh no, it was 8 because the announcement didn't count as a episode.
8,
right?
yeah.
So, we talk about how when we decided, well, when I decided, because again, I was the first one to do it. Like I did the first. Did you guys all remember? Anyone who remembers the 17-minute clusterfuck is really like a god to me, because I don't know how you guys have been through all 8 of these, 9 of these now episodes. But the first one with me was just a hot mess. But we talked about last week how trust in any situation in life is a very important thing. we talk about how for us trust is important. Wow, I'm really sorry. Wow, that we had a special book on the podcast. So rare moment, folks, in episode 9. We talked about how we trust each other, and yeah, I don't think I trust him either. He comes around and redeems himself. Coffee, are you talking about him redeeming himself in Before the Storm or in Life is Strange?
In Life is Strange.
Okay, because he doesn't really redeem himself in Before the Storm. He just kind of.
Well, I mean, there's a little bit. There is a little bit, but that's in the next section.
Any more thoughts on this section, or do we want to get to the next section?
Now, does anybody have any thoughts about Chloe into the garbage on her way out, or the bathroom graffiti? Because I thought that whole scene was hilarious, kind of like a big middle finger to the school.
Just Skip Matthews in general is amazing. Let's just put that out there.
And that's one thing that made me laugh. The whole time she's throwing away her school book, security guard Skip Matthews is just standing there watching her.
Coffee, what were you gonna say? I cut you off. Sorry.
No problem. I was just gonna say that her art is really great, and I feel like it kind of reflects on the school system that we have. That if the school system was a better environment, that she could have excelled a lot, because she knows a lot about chemistry and stuff. She's a great artist. There's really no field that she could not have excelled in, but because all the teachers and everybody, all the staff, didn't care about her, she just kind of didn't.
Well, if you remember back in Farewell, though, she was getting A's and B's, Coffee, and after her dad died and Max left and she lost her cat, that was when she decided.
What a depressing life this girl's had. Good God.
Well, with everything passing away, she went from an A and B student down to a C and D. So I don't feel like it was the teachers that exactly gave up on her as much as she had given up on herself by this point. But I do get what you're saying, Coffee. I do.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that she was dealing with the loss of her best friend, her dad, and her cat, and then they didn't really try to help her deal with it. They just I feel like that the best that they would have done is just give her a few words every now and then, but nothing of any worth.
Right. I think that would have helped greatly.
Can I say, first of all, Coffee is really loud, so when people listen to this, they're going to be confused. Second of all, this is the loudest Coffee's ever been, and people can actually tell who is who this time. And third of all, he doesn't sound like he has no emotion. He's actually trying to express emotion in this episode. Maybe we should record these later at night from now on, because at apparently 3:30 Pacific time, Coffee gets emotion for some reason.
I'm awake
at 3:30. I don't know why. Okay. So you're not gonna be awake when we do Haley on Friday?
I'm Coffee. I'll just get some coffee.
The best part about waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Or I just won't sleep at all.
I know you won't. I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep. I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep tomorrow night. I think everyone's going to be really excited we're getting Haley, but in my mind, Tony's a really big deal too. So.
Too bad it's not October, because we could have had him be all spooky on the interview.
He's Tony. He's probably still going to be spooky.
Fair point.
Fair point. What do we have next, Steven?
Okay, so after she gets kicked out, she heads off. She hates David. Her mom chooses David over her. She's upset, so she takes off to her sanctuary, her security blanket, if you will, and goes to the junkyard. And while she's at the junkyard, she decides to make the little house there into her own living quarters. She's got the tapestry she puts up. You got dartboard, a couple of street signs, and she by this point she finds her truck. People of the original series will know where this truck came from, but this truck is where she starts learning to be independent and starts realizing it needs a lot of work. If she's going to be on her own, she needs to be more responsible. And at this point, I mean, her and Rachel's relationship is getting, a little more intense, a little more serious. They're starting to hang out. They're starting to understand one another. Chloe's starting to feel like, this is somebody I can trust in, I can confide in. Maybe there's something more to this. And she starts opening up a little more.
Yeah, and we've talked about how the character of Rachel opens up, you know what I mean? And the character of Chloe opens up, and I'm sorry, I'm chewing. This is terrible audio. How is that? The one podcast we have where coffee sounds amazing, I'm eating. We just can't get anything right.
Rachel opens up with a dramatic flare, a forest fire.
I don't think we were there yet.
That's the first episode.
Yeah, the forest fire is at the end of the episode. That's what burns down the park.
My God. See, while coffee's awake at 3:30, I'm not awake at 6:40. So that's what this is.
You need some Folgers.
I need more than that.
Tequila.
I need to stop being. We'll talk about that another time. We can have legal problems if we talk about that right now. So what? No. What I was saying was that a lot of people and this is why we decided to do it in chronological order, because now the more you think about this, in my mind, it makes sense. It makes sense that we do it in chronological order because Jesus Christ, as Steven said, we're telling the life of Chloe. In the life of Chloe, we really want to push through, and we're only on episode 2 of Before the Storm, and we have really expressed how we're telling the life of Chloe, and how it's easier to go through it this way than it would have been if we did The Strange originally. Like the original Life is Strange. So, what's next? Coffee, do you have anything else about this scene? Coffee.
I'm sorry, I got distracted. What was the scene again?
We're at the junkyard where she's noticing that she needs to fix up the car. She's starting to make her own house and be independent.
Yeah, that's a cool scene. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to say about it.
Alright, let's move on. Steven?
So, if I'm not mistaken, any thoughts to any other scenes at the moment, Coffee, that you would like to add? I know.
Nope.
I know that the big. I don't know how far ahead I'm jumping, but I know this is the part where Chloe and Rachel are in the truck, and Rachel brings her close because she ran out without taking anything.
Isn't the Tempest in episode 2?
Yes.
Why have we not talked about the Tempest?
Because that's where I'm getting. In the truck, they were talking about what she's going on with at home and what's going on, and they start to talk about leaving Arcadia Bay behind. They're tired of dealing with their parents. They're tired of dealing with all of life's problems. So they want to get money. They want to get a vehicle, and they want to get out of there. But Rachel tells Chloe, I hate to cut this short, but I need to go get ready for the play. And then in the next scene, it picks up at the play where you find out that Stephanie Gingrich, who is the tabletop game player, is supposed to be the stage manager. She's been blocked off from getting to the play because of the big fire that Chloe started, or Rachel started, I'm sorry. And so she's blocked off, and Rachel is asking that you meet her in the dressing room. Well, when you get to the dressing room, you find out that, Victoria, the understudy, is all upset that, Rachel got the part and I should have had the part. So, she goes as devious by using muscle relaxers and medication slipped into her tea, thinking that if she causes her to not make it, to the stage, she'll have that role. And unknown to her, Chloe's able to see it and tries to warn Rachel. So, I mean, there's establishes more of a level of trust as well. And it opens up Rachel being able to trust Chloe as much as Chloe is starting to admire Rachel for her ability to speak her mind and act on her own 2 feet. Try to, get away from her dad for, everything he's been doing. And not telling his daughter about this mysterious woman that he was meeting in the park.
Okay. When people listen to this podcast, I don't know if they realize I'm the one that created it or they think Steven's the one that created it.
Yeah, I've been rambling, sorry.
No, it's fine, but I'm pretty much just letting Steven go.
Steven has a position. It's called head of direction.
No, that's my position. I decide what we talk about and when. Bitch, get on your knees. No, I was gonna say, oh Jesus. I wanted to say, what did I want to say? So, do we know, is the voice actor for Victoria the same in both games? Can someone look that up? Can someone look that up? As Steven, half-heartedly came in and then came out and then did something and left a really weird gap of audio. Because if Victoria is the same act, is it Dana Knight? Dana Knight, is that who it is? Can anyone help me out here as we struggle around our podcasting mode? What I want to say is that if they are both the same actor, and I feel bad now if they're not, I feel like the Victoria character doesn't get. I'm not gonna say the character. I'm gonna say the voice actor for Victoria doesn't get as much love and hype as she should. Meaning that, we know how the people who have played Nathan, right, Nick Schreiner and Caleb Thomas, get a lot of hype, but the thing that people don't seem to realize is not many people give Victoria's voice actors a lot of credit, and I think they should, because Victoria's voice actors, or voice actor per se, is absolutely amazing. Coffee?
Yeah, well, I don't mean to call her a villain, but like in the beginning, like a story isn't as good as a story could have a good hero and plot, but if it has a weak villain, it sucks. And she was great, but she's not a villain. I just don't know how to explain anything.
I think what you're trying to say is that not many people relate with her, but like, I mean, I relate with her. I'm not a girl, so that's not what I'm saying. What I'm
Okay,
saying,
man.
yeah,
Teresa Croft played Victoria Chase in Before the Storm. Unfortunately, with the voice strike, they were not the same person. Danny Knight was the Victoria Chase in the
okay,
original Life is Strange.
okay. So you said Teresa Croft. Is that Kroft or
Uh,
Croft?
CR, like Lara Croft.
Okay. Well, kudos because I thought they were the same person. So kudos to what's her name? The Before the Storm.
Teresa Croft.
Kudos to Teresa Croft, who we are now never getting an interview with.
And one added extra note: Victoria Chase's middle name is Mary Beth.
And one added extra note, guys, I have an announcement. I just found out that Zeitgeist isn't dead because he's on Katie Benson's stream right now. So that's good news.
He's just a zombie now.
Yeah, but
Watch him
so
type in
we're
the
not.
chat brains.
So we're not gonna. Teresa Croft. Well, there goes any interviews with Teresa Croft. Um, both did an amazing job, but what I'm trying to say is that the character doesn't get, not the character, but the voice actors for like the villains don't get recognized as much as they should. Besides Nathan, is what I mean.
True.
Yeah, they do great jobs, and we get a bit salty because the characters are mean.
Coffee, do you have any more thoughts on this scene? Can I just say, which way did you guys pick it? Because there was one way where you could. I think there was one option where you could have changed it, and the other option where you couldn't have. Is that what it was?
For which
Change.
part?
Or was it for the cup part with the tea?
No, I believe in the one regard, Victoria puts it in Rachel's glass, but if Rachel was to keep her spot, I believe Victoria needed to relax, so she kind of dosed herself.
Okay. Anything else you guys have to say about this scene? Or
I just want to say I really like the improv part where how am I forgetting these characters' names? How when Rachel basically confesses to Chloe.
Yes.
Yeah, let's so the next scene is the play, right?
Yes.
Alright, let's go.
The play. Okay, so the play picks up on stage.
This is my favorite part.
You know, Juliet's running late because of the heavy smoke and, debris in the way. She's on her way to the play, but because there's no Juliet and Victoria, causes herself to pass out because she's stupid and she overdrugged herself. Chloe is completely against wanting to do this part, but because she's, so falling for Rachel, she does it. I mean, she's very reluctant, but she does it for her friend. And she goes on stage. You're told where to go, what to say, whatever. You got your own script. You can either screw it up or you can do a decent job. But Chloe realizes that during the play, Rachel has added lines and changed some of the lines, and the script is different. But Rachel is asking stuff like, "I have you in my grasp. Where are you going to go? I don't grant your freedom." And Chloe tells her, happiness is not always the same thing as, joy. And so she responds to that, and the theater teacher was actually surprised because Nathan realizes, that's not in the script. She's changing what's said, and he's surprised, and he thinks, this way is more genuine.
Wait, did we just go backwards?
No, we're in the play.
Yeah, but aren't we talking about?
I was getting ahead of myself. I was getting confused.
We're in the Tempest. Everyone. We've left the junkyard. Now we're doing the play. The Tempest on stage with Chloe and Rachel.
Okay, I thought we were talking about the scene where we skipped over the scene where they go back into the classroom. We didn't talk about where they went into the classroom, and then Chloe, you're given an option or something, and Chloe's like, "This is stupid" or something like that. Something about love.
That's in the first episode, isn't it?
No, this is where she didn't want to do the play before the play, and then Rachel told her, she fits perfectly in this costume. Have her be in it.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I was like, okay. Wait a minute.
So anybody else that's confused, this is the part where Chloe hates being in the bird suit, but she's doing it for Rachel.
Yes. Okay.
So, but yeah, the director knows she's off script, but he finds it to be more genuine. He's enjoying, the realism, the emotional genuinity. So, I mean, they both of them did an amazing job. I mean, Chloe was hesitant in the beginning, but by the end of the play, she was actually, starting to enjoy herself.
Coffee? There.
You go first.
I go first?
Yeah, I forgot my lines.
Coffee?
I mean, what?
I don't have emotions. So can we before I tell you my thoughts, can we talk about how the Nathan character was portrayed here? Because the line of Nathan saying to the guy, what was it, like the professor? I guess, is he a professor or is he a teacher? He's a professor, right? I don't know.
Are you talking about the director? I believe he was. He was the teacher for the theater arts, the arts program.
Okay. So I think Nathan said something like, they're doing their lines wrong, and the teacher is like, it doesn't matter. It's amazing. Be quiet. And then Nathan goes on the stage and is like, fuck you. And then just leaves. Again, we've talked about on this podcast, and I think we've talked about it I was about to say on other podcasts, but this is all we've ever done. This is our baby. No. Well, yes. But, what I think I mean is that for Nathan, the character of Nathan, there's a lot of people who say that, in my mind, I've heard that Caleb Thomas doesn't do as good of a job as Nick Schreiner did. And I completely disagree with that. I think it was two different characters, two different storylines, and two different scenarios. And there would have been no way for that to change. And if Nick could have done it again, we talked about the strike and Teresa Croft, who I feel bad because now we're never going to get to talk to her. Although, at this point, I've learned to never say never, because a week ago I would have told you we were never going to talk to Tony or Haley. selfless plug. Um, um, but it's the character of Nathan in this game. Nick Schreiner is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but Caleb Thomas did an amazing job, and I just wanna talk about how good of a job he did because I feel like people don't give him as much credit as they should.
Well, on that note,
so my
what people don't. I'm sorry to cut you off. What
no,
people
go
don't
ahead.
realize though is a second before the play, Nathan, is getting told by his dad, Sean Prescott, don't screw this up. You have the Prescott name. We're high and mighty. People look up to us. People respect us. Don't you dare mess this up. And what most people don't know is if you're able to find Samantha and talk to him, he actually does know all of his lines. But I think because his father is so hard on him, it's causing a little bit of instability, and why he's always getting bullied is starting to take a toll on him, which is causing him to, get agitated with everybody and start at this point, he's starting to get a little bit of a backbone, but I mean, he's not completely there yet.
So I just looked up Teresa Cross for Life is Strange, and 100 names came up. So I don't know which one is this. On Twitter, I mean, by the way. So I don't know. It just says Life is Strange. I'll look under who they're following. Anyway, so my thoughts on, since obviously Coffee doesn't want to go first, I'll go first. Since I think Steven already went. My thoughts on the scene, the Tempest scene. Wow, I'm the one who sounds like shit in this episode. The Tempest scene. So I think them messing up the lines was absolutely hilarious. I think some of the choice options were absolutely hilarious. Just in like my opinion, like some of the choice options are absolutely hilarious. You know what I mean? Like one of them was like, I forget what it was. It was like when she's standing on top of the rock and it says leap to something or something like that. You know what I mean? I feel like the options were hilarious, and I felt like it really did show a good way of being able to show how much they actually meant to each other. You know what I mean? Because they have to be able to show how much they mean to each other, and I think it's important that they show how much they mean each other, and here they try and get that across, and I think they did a good job with it, especially in this scene. Coffee
Hey,
time.
hey, uh, did you guys follow the script, or did you guys mess it up?
I think I messed up once on the first time, and I mean, he said not bad, but I think I ended up getting 3 out of the 4. So overall, he said it was a splendid performance.
I took pictures of the script so that I would get them all right.
Oh, so you cheated?
I cheated.
That sounds about right.
Well, see, I tried to memorize it. I myself, in real life, do theater, so I actually went for the memorization. So I think getting 3 out of the 4 for a 6-page script in about 5 minutes was actually pretty good for myself.
That is pretty good. Good memory.
Yeah. So what I did was I what did I do? I died. No. What I did was I messed the whole thing up on purpose the first time, just to see what would happen, to see if it would like have a different outcome. It really does. I mean, it sort of does, and it sort of doesn't. And then when I played it again, when I went through a second time, I did it the right way. Coffee. So now I've given you enough time. What is your response to the Tempest scene with Chloe and Rachel?
I think they did great, and I already said it. I said it earlier. I'm getting ahead of myself that I liked her improv and stuff. And I don't know. I really like that she confesses to her and they have a moment and everyone applauds them. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I'm remembering correctly at right now.
Coffee's going back to the 10 o'clock.
So wouldn't that be something? They do a wonderful job. Everybody gets their part right, and then automatically you just see no standing ovation and no cheers. Everybody's just like, yeah, whatever.
Hey, I just realized.
I wasn't sure if it showed the end.
I just realized I'm actually following the voice actor who played Victoria in the first game on Twitter, which I didn't even know. So, granted, she hasn't tweeted since September 16th, 2017, but
it's still pretty recent. I've seen people on there that says 2008.
I don't know how we're going to reach out to Dana Knights. Does anyone know how we reach out to Dana Knights then?
A Ouija board.
What?
No. Danny Knights is still alive, genius.
I mean, her character might be dead. We don't know. That's another thing. We never really do find out what happens to Victoria. Wait, this says she. Okay, no, that's not right. I was gonna say this thing said she's on X Factor. I was like, I'm pretty sure I would know who she was if she was on X Factor.
Well, I mean, you do kind of find out what happens to Victoria, but that's not until the next game.
Yeah, you sort of out. So what's the next scene? I do like to say that if somehow you don't and Victoria starts, I do like the random person yelling, "You suck, Victoria!" I would like to say that. I love that part.
Yeah, well,
because
go
ahead.
Okay, well, to piggyback off of Coffee saying, they share a moment, after the play's done, it shows them, skipping and walking down the road and playing in the ashes from, the fire and whatnot. Some people have mistaken it for snow, but that's irrelevant. But here they talk about how Rachel loves this time of night and it gives her adrenaline rush. And she asks Chloe how she feels about it. I mean, you could have, excited, it was all right, or I didn't like it. But this is where, you can ask for her bracelet, which she's had since she was a child. You can give her a hug, or you can give her a kiss. And I know almost at least 70, 75% have gone for the kiss option, which, hey, more power to you. But, that I think is where you first realize where Chloe is just head over heels in love with her. I mean, the kiss, not only do they kiss once, they kiss twice. And the second kiss is even longer. So, I mean, that was great. I don't know what everybody else chose. See, my biggest adrenaline rush is after the play's over during the cast meet and greet where everybody can come up and see how well you did and who came to the show and whatnot. So my personal experience, I like the adrenaline rush after the play, but seeing that kiss did make me feel better. It's like, yeah, she actually confided in somebody since Max left. So, I mean, I thought the scene was very well done.
Coffee?
I like that Chloe has. Well, I went for the kiss. That's something I gotta get out of the way first.
I did too.
If you didn't code for the kiss, you're a sinner. Kidding. I'm an atheist.
Oh, Jesus.
That wasn't necessary, but I don't know.
Dead
Oh yeah,
air.
it's great. I was losing my train of thought, and I'm blabbering. I really like that she found someone who who she could confide in, and yeah, it's great. I don't know.
Jesus Christ. No. Yeah, I think that I agree that it's important that she found someone. Maybe I just spelled this name wrong because I cannot find Teresa Croft on Twitter, and now I'm going off on a tangent. I think it's great that she found someone to connect with. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think because we talk about it. Sorry, we talk about it here, and we talk about how connecting with people is very important. We talked about how we have connected with each other, right? And really, I don't know about you guys, but like in my mind, have like connected as a family in some ways, right?
Yes.
Like I love talking to you guys as much as I say I don't love talking to Coffee. I love talking to Coffee. I did spell her name wrong, by the way. I put it Tresa instead of Theresa. But for us, we've talked about how it's important to be able to confide in each other, and it really is. And when we saw them confiding in each other, for me, we didn't know each other yet, but for me, it sort of reminds me of what this is and how well we have confided in each other.
Yes, very much so.
Because I don't know about Coffee. I know Coffee jokes sometimes about how he thinks I'm annoying and I'm a nerd, but for me, one of my favorite parts of the day is getting up in the morning, going to college, probably hanging out with my friends at lunch because I don't have to do any work. But then after that, my next favorite part is coming home and talking to these guys because they're just. I talk about they're some of the most amazing people you'll ever meet, and I don't like getting emotional here, and I finally found her on Twitter, by the way. I don't like getting emotional here, but it really is important to be able to confide in people. Right, Coffee?
Yep. And your emotional moments are always the best moments because you always interrupt yourself with the most mundane things. Like, yes, I found her.
He is right.
Yes, I found her. She has a website. She does. She does. I'll link it to you guys later. So apparently she's on Discord, but now I'm going off. So do we want to talk any more about how they confide in each other? Or do we want to get to the next scene?
Well, one thing I do want to say before moving on, I think this is the point that most players and people that watch this game being played, I think by the time they reach the kiss her option, myself included, we're like, yes, finally. So that was all I wanted to add.
Yeah.
So the next scene brings us, they want to pack and they've decided they're going to leave finally. So this takes us into the Amber home, and they go up to a room and pack stuff. Well, on the verge of going upstairs to a room to pack, they actually run into her father, who actually wants them to stay. and have dinner, and there was stuff to discuss and whatnot and what have you. So Rachel decides to go upstairs and pack while Chloe stays downstairs and helps out with getting the plates and the silverware and the glasses and whatnot to set the dining table. But Chloe's giving her subtle hints. Chloe's being Chloe, and she tries telling, what's his name?
You thought I was the one who kept messing up.
His name escapes me at the moment, but so Rachel's upstairs. She's setting the table, and she talks to
James Amber.
Thank you. She talks to James, and she's asking, subtle hints like, "What's your vice?" And kind of like, "We know what you did," but she doesn't want to overstep because she loves Rachel and she doesn't want to screw up the relationship she has by talking to her dad in a disrespectful manner. And when they sit down, you've got to try and keep Rachel calm. She's about to explode. She's going off the deep end because she knows, even though he's a father, he's also the DA, and she just has this complete meltdown. And she tells her dad, "Stop lying, and stop being a politician for one damn minute, and just be my dad." And that's when he explains. Go ahead.
Can I say a couple things? One, so I've been stalking Twitter as I usually do, and I found Teresa Croft, and I found the tweet where they also tagged some random person also tags Dylan Winfrey, and tags pretty much everybody. I'll send it to you guys later. So we can be able to talk to them too, hopefully. So that is, and I talked about this with Coffee when talked about favorite lines. That's my favorite Rachel line. My absolute favorite Rachel line is that line, because it really. Shut up, Coffee. I just got your message on Discord. It really describes what she's going through, and it's really important. I feel like I'm gonna get emotional again, guys. It's really important to be able to express emotion, and we talk about it here. We talk about it in life in general. Expressing emotion is very important, because without being able to express emotion, you can't do anything. And expressing emotion is very important. And the can you stop being a politician for 1 minute and just be my fucking dad line? Like, I've never. So obviously, I played the original Life is Strange first, right? Unlike you, Steven, and like most people, right? But as far as lines in this game, that's one of the ones that grabs me the most, because it's so real that you don't even think about it.
Right.
Coffee? What do you think about the line that Rachel said of "Stop being a politician for 1 minute and just be my fucking dad"?
Makes me wonder how long has she had that weighing down on her? How long has she been keeping that in and not had anyone to confide in, because she feels like she has to act around everyone and that she can't really confide in anyone?
Can I just say one
Yeah.
thing? People, well, any child that's listening to this, if you need to discuss something with your parents, please go to them and talk to them in a respectful manner. Try not to curse at them because they did bring you into this world.
Yeah, but in this instance, I mean,
Well, this
this
isn't
is
a game.
absolute. Yeah, but still, in my mind, in this instance, guess what? Shadow's gonna want to be coming on and talking to us now, and we're gonna be recording because Katie just ended. Um, so in this instance, yeah, it's just a game, but you guys gotta remember that in this day's generation, and I'm not proud of it, and I've done it. Kids curse at parents more than you think they do. Right? You know that's a thing. You know kids curse at
Yeah,
parents like all the time.
yeah, it's sad, but it happens.
Cursing isn't even that big of a deal. It's just a word.
I mean, if you use it in the right context, yeah.
Yeah, but like people, they make such a big deal out of it, but it really, it's just a word. It's not really that important.
Ooh, debate time.
So
Do we want to get to the ending?
yeah. So as I was saying, um, Rachel's chewing out her dad. I mean, Chloe can't contain her anymore. She can't keep her calm. She's fed up, and she tells her dad, "We saw you with that woman, and I know you're cheating." And he looks at not Chloe, Rachel. He looks at Rachel and he says, "That woman you saw me with, she wasn't my mistress. That was your mother." And by this point, I've seen so many different videos, and people are just shocked, completely flabbergasted, like, "Whoa, what?" So, I mean,
Yeah.
that was a big shock to me. I had my suspicions, but I wasn't 100% certain on it.
So, okay, I don't think I've said this on this podcast. I keep making myself sound like on the podcast. I haven't, guys. This is all I have. But in my mind, maybe it's just in my mind, and maybe it's just because I'm psycho. I thought, okay, at first when I first saw them before they kissed, I thought it was Rachel's sister. Okay, and then they kissed, and I thought it was his ex-wife. So I kind of figured it out, but I didn't think that she was her mom. At first, I thought it was like a sister or a cousin, and then they kissed, and I was like, well, if they're a sister or a cousin now, that's not right. So I was kind of hoping that it was her actual mom because I was like, well, if they go down the route of a sister of a cousin, this is really messed up.
Right?
So
Sweet home Alabama.
No,
oh
we're not going to go
Jesus,
there.
we got off the rails. Um, Coffee, did it surprise you? Coffee.
Yeah, yeah, that
You
was
guys know
that was a pretty big
we
shock. I'm the kind of person who ignores all the signs, and I'm like, it's just a mistake, and I'm like, wow, it wasn't.
Well, see, when episode 2 started, it showed that he was with Rose. So I wasn't, connecting the dots of, it could be his ex, it could be his girlfriend, it could be a friend with benefits, it could be an open marriage. I didn't know what to think. I just thought, maybe he just shared a kiss with somebody he remembered from childhood or something. But to find out it was the mom, I'm like, did not see that coming completely.
Yeah, it really surprised me in the fact that, again, like I said, I thought that it was like a sister, and then I saw them kiss, and again I was like, oh man, if they go down the route of a sister now, this is bad. I kind of at first wanted it to be a sister, and then they kissed, and I was like, oh, well, there goes that conspiracy theory. Unless the only other thing I was thinking of is that her dad has an identical brother that looks exactly like him, and they figure it out that way. So it is actually her sister, but it's a random dude that looks exactly like her dad.
Well, if it was her half sister, same mother, two different dads, I mean, it wouldn't be completely his relation.
Yeah.
Still be awkward, but
why does your Discord account say "Do not disturb" while you're in a call recording a podcast with us?
Me?
No, Coffee.
And just in case, my dude. Just in case.
Anything else you guys have to say about episode 2, Brave New World? Guys, no dead air.
Can we talk about the graffiti? The graffiti that we can remember?
Yeah. I don't exactly. We're really gonna need to work on talking over each other during these interviews. These interviews could either go really well or they could be absolute disgraces.
We could try to just have it be that you tell everyone when it's their turn to talk, and we stick to that strictly, but who knows?
I think we're doing a little better than we used to.
As he interrupts me.
Sorry.
We're doing better as he interrupts me. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if we're doing an interview and it comes to Coffee, Steven, Coffee, Haley, it's your turn to answer a question. Like, that's a little, especially if, like, we're saying to Haley, like, you answer this question now. Right? That's a little messed up.
Right.
I don't know. Well, we got, for Haley, we got a week. For Tony, we kind of probably figure something out pretty quickly. I guess we will. So anything else you guys? Oh, the graffiti. The graffiti, as I burp. Which is funny because I haven't drunk in anything in hours. What graffiti do you remember? It's Coffee. The dead air is alive again.
I'm sorry.
I think what he means, Coffee, is, are you talking about the graffiti in the bathroom at the beginning of the episode, or are you talking about the graffiti spots that you need to get an achievement?
The achievement ones, because I think they're really cool and I would like to talk about them.
I didn't know there was achievements.
Yeah. Unfortunately, every game has. Yes.
We need that fake sense of achievement.
That comes Tuesday and Friday. We've gone over this.
I know.
I don't know.
I know the trickiest graffiti that most people miss is in the Amber home at the where you're helping Rose, or Mrs. Amber technically, set dinner. You cannot do the graffiti until she has her back turned at the sink. If you try to do it at the counter, it will not work. Once she goes to the sink, it can be done. And I believe, Coffee, wasn't there 2 in her bedroom? There was the class schedule.
Yeah, I was about to say the class schedule.
Wasn't there one more in her room though?
I think there was one more on like one of her walls. I think it was on a map, or maybe I don't know. I'm getting confused.
I also know there was one. Where?
Good God. Good God.
Where was it at, Coffee?
I don't know. I was thinking like a map or something because I thought I remember it saying like something about a bunch of different states, and she did something.
Oh yeah, there was one on the map. You're right.
Okay, so from now on, what we're gonna do is we're all just gonna do push to talk because I can tell that us interrupting each other is this sounds like shit. So we'll figure something out for I guess Tuesday. What we'll do is we'll talk more about it off air about what we're gonna do, but we'll figure something out. We'll probably just rotate between each other like we did that episode, and it'll get annoying, but hopefully they're smart enough to realize the order at some point, and we'll be able to figure it out. Friday's going to be the real test, though, because there's going to be all 4 of us plus Haley here. So we're going to have to see how that works. Well, you guys were talking about the graffiti?
Yeah, the graffiti.
So the only other one I know by heart is in the dressing room at the theater. I mean, not the theater, the backstage of the play. But I believe it's on the mirror. I don't know. I don't remember which mirror, but I know there's one that you can draw in the mirror. And I know I'm missing.
My guess is Victoria's.
Victoria. Okay.
That's my guess.
What is your guess?
I'm guessing the mirror that you graffiti is the one that belongs to Victoria. Either that or you leave a beautiful note for your wonderful girlfriend.
Now, I know we've covered 4, and there's 5 per episode. I don't recall which one's missing. I've got the play backstage, and we got the Amber House. What are we missing? Oh, there's one in the junkyard. Isn't that where Rachel signs her name? Or Chloe signs her name?
Oh my God,
isn't it the Illuminati one in the truck?
I thought the truck was in the next chapter. It might be, though.
No, because you do it when you fix the truck.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, in the back seat.
Oh my God. We really need to work on this.
We should probably make a list of what we're gonna talk about beforehand, and then start the episode.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. I think what we'll do is just everyone have push to talk on, and then I guess we'll do it the name way for now. But like we gotta find a way to stop interrupting each other. Okay. Now no one else is gonna talk.
Oof, you didn't say my name. No, but so we covered all the graffiti now, didn't we?
Yes.
So now that we've covered all the graffiti and stuff, have we covered everything in the story?
Yes. We
Right.
also don't want dead air.
So what now? Is this the end, or do we have any more topics?
Dude, you are just completely fucking this whole thing up. I
I'm
was
sorry.
literally just about to do the outro.
All right, time to do the outro.
Well, now it's not fun. So, you can follow Teresa Croft on Twitter. No.
You
Well,
can
you
though.
could. You can. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll tag her. I don't know. You can follow Teresa Croft on Twitter. That's up to you. Couple more things I want to talk about. Again, we've talked about how, really quick, Steven, anything else you want to say about episode 2?
No, I think I'm good. I think I covered everything pretty well.
Coffee?
Well, you already know I have nothing else to add.
So, we're gonna, again, I want to talk about how this week, like, if it sounds like it does in this episode, it's gonna be shit. But, even if it is, like, if this is the end of us, and we get to say, that we interviewed Tony and Haley, it won't be the end of the way, even if we suck, which we probably will, to be honest with you. But, it's the emotional time. It's time for me to cut myself off again, Coffee. It's just, it shows a lot to us, that it means a lot too that we're able to do this. So on that note, before I cry my eyes out, you can follow me on Twitter at JManPowerhouser, or just look up Life is Feels and you will find me. Steven, where can you find us on YouTube?
At Life is Feels podcast.
Coffee, where... he's going to mess it up again. Coffee, where can you email us?
lifeisfeelspodcast@gmail.com.
Hey, he got it this time. At yahoo.org. You can... you can follow us on Twitch as we try and... I guess we try and claw our way to 50 followers and somehow get affiliate so we can continue to rerun our shows and annoy you guys even more, I guess. At twitch.tv, is it a forward slash or is it a backslash? So backslash?
Forward slash.
Backslash. Twitch.tv / Jesus Christ. Twitch.tv / Life is Feels podcast. You can follow Steven on Twitter at
Steven Ulch, ULCH 13.
You can follow Coffee on Twitter at
CoffeeMug888.
Thank you for listening. For J-Man Powerhouse.
Well, that's my cue. Coffee.
And Steven Jackson.
We hope you've enjoyed our review of Brave New World, and you hope you continue to stick with us as we travel through our Brave New World. But until then, remember folks, life is feels. We'll see you next time.